Hi there VC, Steve Whitty here. It's time for another video. Now this video is a sort of response video to Graeme, Crackin vinyl, 10th anniversary 80s vinyl tag. I've known Graeme for quite a few years. We've chatted over Zoom calls. We've never met. Circumstances have always dictated whenever there's been a meet-up. We've never had a chance to actually meet. He does come from Exeter, so hopefully one day we'll get to meet. But he's a cracking bloke, and I'm glad that he's started making videos again. So his 80s vinyl tag works on the same as a normal vinyl tag. 20 questions. So first question is, and I'm reading off my script, which 80s song had the best video? And after much thought, I've just gone for Kate Bush's Cloud Busting. I thought that was a very innovative video. 80s sort of videos were the big thing, new toy, so to speak, and a lot of videos were made, and quite a lot of innovative videos. It just is a particular favourite. That's why I've chosen that. So, question 2. Show an album released in 1983. I've gone for Thin Lizzy's Thunder and Lightning. This was their final album. I thought this was very much a return to form, very rocky. John Sykes had joined the band as lead guitarist, and I thought he invoked some increased energy into the band. Sadly, it wasn't to be. The band split up, partially so they could try and get over their addictions. Scott Gorham did. Unfortunately, Phil Lynott succumbed to his. Question 3. Show a 12-inch single. And I plonked, it's not technically a single, it's an EP, but this is Motorhead's Golden Years live EP released in 1980. Standout tracks Leaving Here, The Bird Song, Stone Dead Forever, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Too Late Today. This was recorded on the Bomber Tour. Question 4, a one-hit wonder. Dig down deep for this. I've gone local. This is the Maisonettes, Heartache Avenue. This was a hit single in 1983. Maisonettes were basically Lowell Mason, who had just come out as City Boy. It's sort of like a Motown pastiche, very synthesised. It was very hummable songs, very popular at the time. And as I said, top 10 single. Even the way they did the cover was sort of like mimicked the Parlophone records of that time. Question 5. Show a record by your favourite 80s artist. Now, this one I had to think about, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to choose an artist that was in the 80s, didn't do anything prior or anything afterwards. And the obvious one to me was the Smiths, and I've chosen The Queen Is Dead. This came out 86, I believe. Quite a lot of controversy because the mere fact that it mentioned The Queen Is Dead. Morrissey was his anti-war family, but there's some great songs on this, and I played this to death. I initially had it on cassette. Question 6, an 80s dance floor banger, and I struggled with this one, but I did find something that I thought might count. Earth, Wind and Fire, Let's Groove, and this comes from the album Rise, which came out in 1981. It's the opening track on the album. Earth, Wind and Fire, late 70s but into the early 80s as well, were very popular. Always sold out on tour. This in towards the fag end of disco, but it's a really good dance track. Next question 7. Which album cover is the most 80s? I've gone for this one. This is Yes 90125. Now I've chosen this because primarily of the technology. It's a computer aided designed cover, and it says in the inner sleeve was done on an Apple Mark II with various other bits of equipment. So in a way, it sort of started a lot more covers that end up being designed, and eventually computers. It's all the rage now. I'm sure AI design album covers now, but at the time it was seen quite how can I put it, technological advanced. And to think it was 64K computer that did this. I've got a device on my wrist that's about 100 times as, or maybe even 1,000 times as powerful. Question 8. Show a record by your favourite act at Live Aid. And I'm not going to apologise for this. At that time, it would have been Queen, and they were by far the best act on the bill. They, as Bob Geldof said, nailed it. So 20 minutes, so they played the hits. You know, you get Dire Straits, who I do love, but there were a couple of whittle out tunes, and it just didn't appeal to me. But yeah, this was on the back of the Works tour. That's why I've chosen this album. Question 9: show a band with big hair. I've gone Poison. There you go. Lots of big hair there. Question 10: favourite cover song? Not too much thought. There actually wasn't much thought. I've gone for Hanoi Rocks. They could have had the big hair answer to the big hair question. And they're from their album Two Steps From The Move, which was the last album before Razzle died in a car accident. And their opening track is a cover of Creedence's Up Around the Bend, which I'm particularly fond of. I'll just find where I am at the moment. There we go. Question 11: a forgotten gem. Freeze, Southern Freeze, came out in 1981. There was a bit early 80s, very popular sort of Brit funk movement. You know, things like Level 42, Freeze, Light of the World. During the time of punk, there were a lot of soul clubs and funk clubs opening as well. It wasn't just all punk, and these sort of influences fed down. Big hit off here is the title track Southern Freeze. They did become more popular in the late 80s. IOU was a big top 10 single for them. But this is an absolute gem of an album. Right, question 12. Which two artists do you wish had collaborated? And I might have done, and it might slip my mind, but I've just gone for two artists that broke out in the 80s, and I've just gone Prince and Madonna. Now they may have collaborated. There may be something in Prince's vault, or maybe something I've missed. So those are the two I wish would have got together and collaborated. For question 13, Time Machine. Which act do you wish you could go back and see live? And I know somebody attended this concert, Birmingham Odeon, New Street, and I would have liked to wish I'd seen ZZ Top on the Eliminator tour. This is just before they had their first hits off the back of the album in 84. Give Me All Your Lovin' was initially released in 83, but then became a big hit in 84. The videos took off. Yeah, and I wish I had seen them, and I haven't seen them. Yeah, nearest I've got to see them was when they on the television when they performed at Glastonbury. Question 14: a synth pop record. I've gone for Soft Cell Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret. Absolute wonderful album, full of sleaze. It's the underbelly of London at that time, and yeah, this sort of represented it. Question 15: a song from a movie. Call me obvious. I've gone for Survivor, Eye of the Tiger from Rocky III, #1 hit single, I think on both sides of the Atlantic. It was unusual for a rock song to get to #1 in the UK. Just absolutely wonderful record. It's a wonderful sounding record. The drums are so tight on it. I think Kenny Jones said that at the time. What he loved about the records was how tight those drums sound. Question 16: your hairbrush song. I.e. a song that you would have ended up doing on karaoke later in the days. I don't do much 80s stuff when I do karaoke. I tend to be either 70s, 60s or maybe 90s. But I did attempt to do the Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi. I probably damaged my vocal cords doing it. Certainly wouldn't attempt it now. It was just a popular song, and it's just got that sing-along hooker chorus that everyone gets up to. So I have to say, my hairbrush song. Question 17: an urban record. I'll go with NWA, Straight Outta Compton. Nice little bit of reissue. Apologies for the glare. It was an HMV special print reissue in red vinyl. At the 80s, I probably would not have been aware of this. I'd have probably given a wide steer. It's only later, from things like the VC and listening to streams and what other people said, or I've picked up on this record. Sorry. Question 18: Who would you like to make a comeback? I would love to see these guys in the original lineup make a comeback. It bites. Ironically, when the single Calling All the Heroes came out in '86, I wasn't that impressed. I thought they were a bit all smiles and whatever. It was only when a guy at work actually said, "No, you got to listen to the album. This is really good, very prog." And he did me a tape, and I thought, "Wow, yeah, this is really good." They made the original lineup initially made 3 lineups, and then split in '91, '92, and there've been various attempts to get back together, but there's been a big falling out basically between them, and it's very unlikely they'll ever get back together, which is a shame because they made some great music. Question 19. What an album you would jam in your Walkman? I think this was probably one of the biggest selling albums of the 80s, this Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms. I know I got through a couple of cassette copies in my Walkman, just played it, saw them on this tour, and it's just a great album. I probably could do with getting one of the reissues, because I think Dire Straits at this time we were pushing the CD, and what was on the cassette and CD didn't fit on the whole album. There's some bits that are missing. I would like a newer vinyl copy of this. And then finally, your 80s crush. Now, this is almost going to go back full circle. I'm going to go Kate Bush. Yes, she came out in the 70s, the 80s. You know, it's just as attractive in the 80s. I remember being at college Christmas party. I think there was a big debate, drunken debate, on who was better looking, Kim Wilde or Kate Bush. They're both extremely beautiful women, but I just always plumped for Kate Bush. So there you go. Those are my answers to the 20 questions set by Graeme. Again, thank you, Graeme. Thank you for your friendship, and thank you for those questions. And I'm glad, as I said before, I'm glad you're back doing videos. So until the next time, I hope you like what you see. Feel free to comment. Feel free to leave feedback. I'll always try and get back to you. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love the interaction. So wherever you get up to, make sure you have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Keep spinning, and more importantly, keep on smiling.